I just finished watching Made in Abyss. Hey man, I ain't gonna lie. This series is low key kind of gas. I ain't gonna lie. But does it have its disturbing moments? Absolutely. And I do understand a lot of people that kind of drop the series as well, because I don't blame you. Because if you see the premise of the show, you've seen like the small clips out there, or just even the cover art and shit like that. It's pretty much kids, like a kid show, but like in our dark fantasy. And obviously, just me saying that alone, I guess you can kind of picture in your mind that like it's not going to be just like, it looks like it's going to be all fun, all be all games, like, you know, little maybe like a free rent in a sense, where like you go to like the action adventures, you'll get a lot of cool fights and stuff like that. That's definitely not what it is. I'm letting you know right now, it's definitely not what it is. It is an adventure series, yes, and do not go into the series too, because I kind of went into it also too thinking, oh shit, we might get some cool ass fights and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, you do get some like cool fights, but if I can name them on the top of my head, it's probably like 4 fights. Other than that, it's pretty much like an adventure series. Since it's more like dark fantasy, you'll get a lot of moments that are really disturbing. But I don't know, it's because I watched Berserk already and shit like that. Like I kind of, and I've seen a lot of shows. Like for me, I have a strong stomach when it comes to like seeing disturbing things and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I don't agree with a lot of stuff that I see, and I do think it's weird, but I'm not one of those people like, oh, I'm gonna drop the show. Like I'm still gonna keep watching because I'm really interested in the lore, and that's one of the major things that Made in Abyss has going for it, is the world building. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people can agree on that. But like, bro, a lot of the shots and scenes that you see of like the landscape and stuff like that is so cool. It just makes you wonder like what type of creatures live on these like inhabitants, because like I said, it's called Made in Abyss for a reason, and you see a big ass hole. So our two main protagonists, which is Rico and Reg. Reg, to me, I thought he was like a half human, half robot, but they consider him like a robot. And then you have Rico, which is a human. And pretty much more of the story, they go down in the abyss. Realistically, it's because Rico wanted to I guess find her mother, but we don't know if she's alive or not. I think she's alive, but I don't think she's gonna be a good person once we meet her. Maybe because she's been in the abyss for so long, she probably turned evil or some shit like that. I don't know, that's just my theory. But anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much like the main reason why they go down the abyss, so they explore and stuff like that. But the thing is, the lower they go, they're never gonna come back, or essentially they most likely never come back, and it's pretty much no return type shit. And that's the thing though, Rico and Reg, but obviously Reg is doing it for Rico, and that's the thing too that I also like about the series, is like you're only given so much yet so far about Reg that we still don't know much more about him. Like we gotten small hints here and there as the story goes on, but we really don't know like his whole entire backstory. Rico, to me as a character, she's growing on me, but I'm not gonna necessarily say I like her a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, she's cool, she got brains, she comes with strategies here and there. But one character I did like that they introduced in season 1 towards the very end, I think it was Nanaichi, some shit like that, the little bunny girl. She is one of my favorite characters of the show. I really like her, and her relationship with her best friend, like what happened to her, Miggy, I believe that's her name, was so sad. And that to me, like, I'm not gonna lie, for me, Made in Abyss kind of picks up after episode 4, I believe, but like where shit really starts to pick up the stakes, and you're like, oh shit, like this ain't no more just, you know, going on different lower levels, and it seems all cute and be all hell, not like it's life or death. Like, we gotta fucking survive if we want to keep on pushing through. Is I think on episode 10 when Rico gets stabbed and they're fighting like big ass monster and stuff, and you see like blood coming out her eyeballs and shit, and like her arm like gets all inflated and stuff, like poison like that. Like, as soon as we started going from there here on out, like shit started going crazy. And like I said, the whole like, and the one thing too, I do recommend, if you're getting into this series, you have to watch season 1, the movie, and season 2, because all goes in order, and it just makes sense, because like the movie does play a big part. I didn't think it would, but it does play a big part, especially where season 1 leaves off. But like I said, I do like the new character we're introduced to, the bunny girl, you know what I'm saying, the bunny girl. But yeah, her character, I really like her. Like I said, it was really sad seeing the relationship, how everything turned out and stuff like that. And that antagonist, bro, that villain, what was his name, Breward or some shit like that. Hey man, that guy is a menace, bro. Like, and the thing that makes him so scary as a villain is that like he was so calm, so nonchalant. Every time he spoke, he kind of gave me one for all vibes, but without the like whenever a villain loses and stuff like that, they kind of freak out and like they lose their cool. Like, he did not lose his cool not once a bit, even till he died. He was pretty much always calm, very respectful. Like, he that's the thing that made him so scary, bro. He was like a mad evil scientist, and the crazy part is that he was human at one point, but he did all this experience and everything on him that I guess just turned him into like a different creature or whatever. But yeah, he was a really good antagonist in the movie. To me, so far, and the Made in the Abyss, he was definitely my favorite antagonist slash villain. Because as the like you watch the show and stuff like that, really the Made in the Abyss, like, it does have different characters and stuff like that, but there's not really a big major villain, at least not yet. But Bruard, or whatever his name is, he was a major threat for sure, and like he really did a lot of damage. And not the fact that he did a lot of damage and censored our characters, but he really was like making all these weird ass creatures for like his experiment, because he had like a whole belief system of like, like life and blessings and curses and shit like that. Like, he was mad. He's a psycho, I ain't gonna lie. Now, I know a lot of people are gonna like fuck with him as a villain, and I understand why, because he's very chilling and the way he goes about things. And he wasn't introduced for that long either. In the manga, from what I read, I think he was only introduced 10 chapters. So for him to have like a huge impact on a lot of people, kind of fuck with him as a villain, that speaks a lot on his character, and the writer as well, giving him like a really good scenes and stuff like that. But definitely he was a chilling character and stuff, so the movie was definitely enjoyable. It's a cool fight scenes there. And then when we get into season 2, it's a whole different vibe from season 1, if I'm being honest. A whole different vibe, because when you go into season 1, you go into like different layers of the abyss and stuff like that. You're exploring different areas, you see different landscapes and stuff, different creatures and stuff. And then with the movie, it picks off where season 1 left off, and that's kind of the whole entire focus on that. I think it was like the 5th layer, some shit like that. Really cool scenario of trying to figure everything out. And then when you go into the 6th layer, I think it's the 6th layer, you're stuck in this one layer for the rest of the season. And I did not think it would be that good, but there was a lot of new characters they introduced, kind of like a past tense, and at the same time, that kind of tied into the present tense, which is really good. And like I said, a lot of characters I kind of did like. It made sense. It wasn't too bad, like I said, because I thought going into season 2, we're going to go more in exploration, but no, we stayed in one layer. And the way the author did it, it was really nice, because we got like a past tense, like with different characters, and a lot of them kind of like are still alive, like years later, like 150 years later, but they're just turned to hollows and stuff. Like, it was really weird, disturbing, a bunch of scenes. But overall though, I think the execution was pretty well. Like I said, the only reason why I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily fuck with it is because there's certain scenes in the show where it's like, obviously they're kids at the end of the day. I feel like it was the adults, probably a different story, but the fact that they're kids does kind of throw off a lot of people, especially with like some like scenes that are a little bit disturbing. Like, there was one scene in particular where Rico was asking like the hollows like where to go and shit like that, and they were pretty much gonna rape her, but that didn't happen. But like, you could tell they were. Like, that would have been weird. There's another thing too, like whenever she sits down and she's using the restroom, there's like this like little tongue thing or whatever that like cleans up after her. Like, that's just mad weird, you know what I'm saying? So like, there are instances where the show does get weird and stuff like that, but if you can push through it and stuff like that, I feel like you'll like it. For me personally, I read Berserk, and I've seen other shows that are really dark, so for me it's kind of like, and like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, it's still fucked up, but like, I can still watch it and I still enjoy the show, just kind of push that to the side. But overall though, I do think the show was definitely enjoyable. I like it. Like I said, I feel like you do have to have like a strong kind of stomach, I guess you could say, to watch it. But overall though, I think the characters are pretty fun. There's not that many characters too, if I'm being honest. You're only introduced to a certain amount of characters, but the world building is kind of what gets it going. Trying to understand more of the abyss, the world. The deeper you go, the crazier shit gets, if I'm being honest, and the more darker it gets. So I'm really curious to see if we'll ever get a season 3 and stuff like that, because I know the manga, from what I've heard, it kind of goes on hiatus, and I don't know like how many chapters they drop. But definitely enjoy anime if you want something different and you want like an adventure, something slash darkish. I do recommend this, checking it out for you. But overall though, it's just kind of my thoughts. Like I said, I wasn't trying to go too in depth with everything, but just kind of want to put all my thoughts in one video. But yeah, overall though, I did enjoy the series. Would I recommend it to people? Yes, but you gotta have a strong stomach, or else you're pretty much gonna be bitching and say like, oh, this is like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to hear that shit. I'll let you know what it was from up front, so it's up to you. But either way, like I said, I just wanted to give my thoughts. If y'all did enjoy anything I had to say or anything, just feel free, show love or whatnot. You can check out my other videos. I talk about different animes. If y'all want to suggest me anything new or something, I'll check it out and maybe make a video about it in the future. And yeah.